I didn't see you guys there. Um, Good morning. I'm finally getting down to some work on the house renovation again. Um, I've stripped down the mouldings around this door quite a while ago, and yeah, a whole lot of other stuff has been happening, and I had to do some paying work for a change, which is always nice. Um, so I want to strip these down. There's a number of layers of paint on here, including some other varnish. So I'm using a heat gun to strip down most of the paint, and then I go in with water-based paint stripper, and then after that I sand it. So I'll get you in closer, and we can get going. While using a heat gun, one always have to be careful not to burn the wood. Unfortunately, this timber seems to have been stripped before, and there's quite a few burn marks. Fortunately, they do sand out quite easily. I also find that these triangular paint scrapers are quite useful, especially getting into the little nooks and crannies. I normally strip the paint off before gluing the cracked pieces on. Right, that's all the paint stripped off. I think I might actually do the paint stripper as well before I glue this edge back on. As I said, I use a water-based paint stripper for this. So, and then just an old paintbrush. And you just apply a liberal amount of the paint stripper to the wood, and then just let it stand for about 20 minutes, well 15-20 minutes, so that it can do its job. And then I'll go in with some scrapers and just remove all the residue. This has been standing for a little while, and I think it's ready to clean off all the paint stripper. Now I use various blades. I find these, once they've been used, they actually make really nice little scrapers. And then I've also got a hacksaw blade that I just chopped and rounded on the one side, which is really nice to get into these sort of rounded areas. And it is advisable to wear gloves for this. Even though the paint stripper is water based, it's still quite caustic, and if you work with this a lot, your skin takes quite a beating. I'm going to change these for my surgical gloves. They're just a little bit lighter and they don't get in the way. Right, that's much better. And you can see that some of the burnt areas actually clean up just with a scraper. And then just as a final cleanup, I use a bit of steel wool. And the steel wool also helps to just give you a really nice smooth finish. Now, as you can see in that groove, I'm going to have to apply a little bit more paint stripper just to get that last little bit out. I've now stripped all the paint with the paint stripper, and then the last step, just to make sure it's absolutely clean, is to use some steel wool again, and then I use a mixture of half methylated spirits and half lacquer thinners, and then I just give this a good rub down. And this just helps to get rid of the last paint stripper residues. And you can see that that is very close to clean. Just a light sand, and it's ready for final coating. Okay, on the end of this piece there's a piece of the molding that's cracked, so I'm just going to glue that up. I'll just use normal wood glue for this. And I'll just clamp that up. And one obviously just has to make sure that everything fits and lines up. And then I'll just wipe off the excess glue. There we go. Once that's dry, then I can sand it, and that will be as good as new. I've been working on a couple of these pieces at the same time. This particular piece has been glued up and ready for sanding. I'm just popping a new filter into my dust mask. Now, the sander I use for this is the Bosch PMF 190E. It's a multi-purpose tool, so there's various cutters and then this delta shaped sanding pad that you can fit onto it. And it's ideal for this kind of work where you need to get into all the little grooves of this molding. And as with any job, there's always a little area that one has to go in with a bit of hand sanding. And then just as a final finish, I use one of these foam sanding blocks just to give it a nice smooth finish before I apply the wood treatment. Okay, well, there's one more step before we get to the wood treatment. I always get overexcited at this point, so I just love to see how the grain of the wood comes out when I apply the oil. Now I'm just going to fill up all the little holes. Now I use the Alkaline Oregon Pine wood filler. You can use Brummer or anything that you can, any suitable wood filler. Okay, now I'm just going to sand the little areas that I've filled, and for this you can just use a little bit of normal sandpaper. There we go. So this is now ready for the sealer. Now I'm using the indoor wood sealer made by Pro Nature in Cape Town. It is all natural product, VOC free. Now the sealer has got a little bit of white pigment in, and it just brings out that freshly sanded look of Oregon pine. The first time I used it, it was very strange because you paint it on and then you leave it for 10 minutes and then you wipe it down. But it does make sense in the end. And as you can see, it just brings out the natural wood grain of the Oregon pine. Now the first thing that struck me with these products is the smell when you open the tin. It's all natural, as I said, it's all natural products. Linseed oils. They use orange peel oil as a drying oil. So it's a very, very pleasant smell. Now with this, generally 2 coats is more than enough. And because it's an oil, you get that nice oiled look, obviously without the oiliness. Okay, now I just want to I'm getting my fingers in the stuff. Okay, I'm going to leave this for 10 minutes and then I'll be back to wipe it all down. Okay, 10 minutes, just enough time to make a quick cup of coffee. Let's just close up here. Okay, this has rested for 10 minutes now, and I'm now just going to wipe off the excess. Do I have? Yes, I've got some gloves. Now for this you just want to use a lint-free cloth and then just wipe the excess oils off. You can already get an idea of the kind of finish that this product gives. To get into all the little grooves. And that looks absolutely fantastic. I love this. Right, now this has got to dry for a couple of hours, and then I think the tin says 6 hours, and then one can do the second coat. Right, it's time for the final coat on this. So I'm just going to apply the same procedure as before. I have to tell you, it was really weird applying this sealer the first time. It just, a sealer with a pigment and something that you've got to wipe off after 10 minutes. It was a little bit sort of counterintuitive, but I'm telling you, the final product is just absolutely stunning. And of course the fact that it's all natural products just make it even better. Okay, it's been 10 minutes and I'm just going to wipe this down again, just using a lint-free cloth. I find with these moldings got all these little grooves that just captures some of the wood finish, and I just use a paintbrush to just smooth that out. I'll put a link to ProNature's website down in the description box. It's well worth going to check out the products they have. They do outdoor wood finishes as well. Their other wood finishes, they do wood finishes with various coloured pigments. They do some amazing wall paints. And the first time I picked up a tin of paint, I was amazed at how heavy it is. But there's a lot of material in there. It's not just water and pigment. And again, it's all natural products. This sealer, let me just quickly have a look here. Where's ingredients? Linseed oil, vegetable oils, gum resin, orange peel oil, lead-free dryers, and then there's natural and non-toxic mineral pigments. So yeah, these guys are really dedicated to manufacturing a really high-class product. There we go. There's this piece done. This has just got to dry and then it's ready to install. I'm not going to do these house renovation videos on a project by project basis. It's going to be more like a story, and yeah, join in. There's a lot to do in this house. It's not just the woodwork. I've got to sometime this summer I've got to do a fireplace, I've got to do some flooring, there's a roof that's leaking that I need to repair. So do join me on this journey and keep your eyes peeled for new videos. I hope you enjoyed this installment. Please remember to subscribe and share, and as always, have a great day. Cheerio.